Hello everyone. Hi, how are you all? This is your friend, your mentor, your coach for CA Final Paper 3 Advanced Auditing and Professional Ethics. My name CA Rohit Grover, and here I am with another lecture, another video, and another class on a very important topic called professional ethics, right? Now, let me first give you the overview of this topic first, how this topic is important for us from the examination point of view as well as from our you know practice point of view also, right? First of all, a very big myth what the students are having about this topic is that this topic is very difficult. Are you getting the point? There are so many clauses you have to learn. There are so many sections you have to learn. There are so many provisions you have to learn. That is the biggest problem what the students are facing when it comes to the professional ethics. But at the end of the day, the half of the population of the student also says that professional ethics is very easy to understand. The reason is the questions from the professional ethics will be created in such a manner that it will give you a understanding that how a practicing chartered accountant should behave when he comes into the practice. Are you getting the point? So basically what professional ethics is all about, it is known as professional ethics, but actually the name of the topic is known as Code of Ethics under Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Let me give you some briefs of like what is happening right now in our CA profession and why this topic is very relevant from our examination point of view as well as from the practice point of view. Let's first talk about how this topic is relevant from our examination point of view. The biggest reason why this topic is very much relevant from our examination point of view is the composition of marks it constitutes when the examination paper comes. It has to be a 16 marks questions which are going to come from this topic, and sometimes the 16 to 20 marks also will come. Minimum 16 and maximum 20 marks are going to come from this particular topic. So you can imagine that if 1/5 of your total 100 marks of paper number 3 advanced auditing and professional ethics are going to be taken care of by this one topic called code of ethics, which is also known as professional ethics. That is from the examination point of view. Now, when I wrote the examination back in 2013, at that point of time, you know how the professional ethics used to come. There used to be a one dedicated question of 16 marks, which used to come in the professional ethics. Like 16 mark questions used to be there. In the 16 mark, four parts are going to be there: part A, part B, part C, part and D, and each question is going to carry 4 marks. So 4 into 4 makes it to 16 mark question. So it was very easy at our time to clear this particular topic called professional ethics, because we know that this topic is now going to come as a dedicated topic and it is going to fetch us a 16 important marks. And I'm telling you, 90% of the students score very good marks in the professional ethics. Why the remaining 10% are unable to score the good marks in the professional ethics? It is because they are unable to remember the name of the clauses, the number of the clauses, and the various parts which we are going to discuss in the coming 6 to 7 lectures, which are going to be dedicated on this professional ethics. Am I correct? Now, this is from the examination point of view. But nowadays, what is happening in your CA examination, since the MCQ pattern has been introduced, now what the ICA is doing? ICA is now little bit asking you the professional ethics questions by creating it as a case study in the MCQ also. Am I correct? And at the same point of time, ICA has now reduced these questions to 12 marks. 12 to maximum 12 to 14 marks, not more than that. It is not going to come in your examination for 12 to 14 marks in the 70 marks portion. That is the descriptive part I'm talking about. Yes, it is going to come for 4 to 5 marks in your MCQ questions also. So 4 to 5 marks in the MCQ and 12 to 15 marks in the descriptive 70 marks of portion. So in total, put together, it is nothing but going to have the same weightage what we used to have when we were preparing for our CA final advanced auditing and professional ethics, right? Now, this is what the examination point of view. Now, sir, how to deal with this particular topic? There are very few small tips what you have to understand. The only tip which I give to the people when they do the professional ethics is take it on yourself. In the future you are also going to be either a member in practice or you're going to be a member in employment. If you're going to learn this topic on yourself, now you will feel that topic in the future. If I am going to do this particular activity and if I'll be caught as a guilty of professional misconduct or other misconduct, by whom? By the ICA, but nowadays by the whom? NFRA. Then in that case I will be held, or I'll be held guilty for the penalty and punishment, and I'll be punished. Now either you are a member in practice or you are a member in service. So either you are doing a job or you are having a practicing firm. This particular topic makes it huge relevance. It makes huge relevance for your practicing scenario in the future, as well as from the examination point of view. So from your practical point of view and from your examination point of view, it is having a very, very, very important, huge importance in your life. Are you getting that? To clear the examination also, this particular topic helps you, and to become an ethical chartered accountant in practice or ethical CA in service in future, this particular topic is going to help you. This is what the brief introduction of professional ethics. Now let me give you the brief idea what we are going to learn. In the first section, in the first one and a half class, what we are going to learn is we are going to learn about the various kinds of definitions which are given in this particular CA Act 1949, like who is a member, what are the disabilities of member, then when you are disqualified to call yourself as a member in practice, when you can call yourself as an associate chartered accountant, when you can call yourself as a fellow chartered accountant, who is known as a members deemed to be in practice, what are the practicing services you can provide as a member in practice. Are you getting the point? Next one, what do you mean by COP? What do you mean by certificate of practice? How do you get the certificate of practice? What is the definition of member? So this topic is basically going to build up the foundation stone for your post qualification era. Whatever the post qualification scenario you have in your mind, that is what going to be built up by this particular topic. So this topic will help you in becoming a ethical member in service or a ethical member in practice in both the ways. Are you getting the point? So the second biggest myth what the students are having, this particular topic is relevant for those who are in practice. Yes, you can say that 60 to 65% of the relevance of this topic is meant for what? Those who are in practice. But at the end of the day, those who are in service also, to them also it is equally applicable. So don't be under the impression that you are a member in service, no one is watching you. No. There is one topic in this particular topic called Code of Ethics we are going to do, where we'll understand the disciplinary mechanism. Don't be under the impression that after getting qualified you are a free bird. No, you are not no more a free bird. After getting qualified, actually you are being watched by the various disciplinary committees, various board of disciplines, various appellate authorities are there. There are so many committees, so many standing committees, so many councils which have been established in the ICI, who are always watching you, and they are always keeping an eye over your what? Over your day-to-day activity. If anybody, any client or any outsider makes any complaint against you, and the ICA find it that yes, you are guilty of professional misconduct or other misconduct, then ICA will not think twice to punish you. But nowadays you all know that the role of this, whether you are guilty or not guilty, and how much punishment has to be given to the member in practice or a member is something, everything from the ICA's hands have been moved to the hands of whom? NFRA. Slowly ICA powers are going to be in the hands of whom? NFRA. And regarding NFRA, you all know section number 132 in the company audit we have already discussed. So basically professional ethics is going to give you what? It is going to tell you ki as a member in practice, what kind of nameplate you should have. Are you getting the point? What color of website you can choose, what should be the font of your website, in your visiting card, how you should print your visiting card. So yes, there are so many guidelines which we are going to learn. Basically, there is clause number 6 and clause number 7 in the part 1 of schedule 1 of CA Act 1949, which we are going to understand. In that particular schedule, in those particular clauses, we are going to have a huge discussion over the guidelines. And I already told you how we are going to approach in this particular chapter. Like we did the same thing when we talked about the audit committee and corporate governance. Do you remember? In the audit committee and corporate governance, we read each and every word. Here also we'll try our level best to read each and every word so that we can understand the inherent meaning of professional ethics. I will again suggest you that when you're reading this chapter, make sure that ICA module is there with you. I tried my level best to bring the total ICA module in the study material which I have provided you. If there is something extra, that will be taught to you while during the lectures. So this is what the basic idea behind this topic called what? Professional ethics. What you should have in mind before taking up this chapter. So looking at the screen, you can see that now onwards, our minimum 6 to 7, I'm saying minimum 6 to 7, it may go to 8 to 9 also. 6 to 7 lectures are going to be dedicated on what? Professional ethics. So here we are going to understand what kind of code of conduct a chartered accountant in practice and chartered accountant in service should have, so that he should not be held any kind of guiltiness under the professional misconduct or other misconduct. And if you are guilty, what are the punishments? You are guilty for what kind of reasons? In total, there are approximately 34 clauses we are going to understand where you will be held guilty of either professional misconduct or other misconduct, divided into two schedules, schedule 1, schedule 2. I'm giving you overview of this particular topic so that you will have an idea. We are also going to talk about the disciplinary mechanism, okay, how your cases are being dealt by the ICA. And very important thing which you have to know that yes, this code of ethics what you are going to read right now, very important, listen to me carefully. This code of ethics what you are going to do right now is going to be replaced by Code of Ethics 2019. Code of Ethics 2019 has already come up in the market. It is now getting reviewed by the experts when it is going to be applicable. Actually, it was required to be applicable for your November 2020 examination, but recent announcement said that Code of Ethics, which is old Code of Ethics, only going to be applicable for your November 2020 examination. Regarding May 21, we don't have a clarity. So as and when those who are planning to buy these classes for the May 21, don't worry. If the Code of Ethics 2019 will be applicable, there will be a separate series of lectures which will be recorded for that Code of Ethics 2019 also, and will be delivered to you immediately. Are you getting the point? If it depends upon the notification as given by our council called ICEA. Now remember one thing, I'm not going to use the word called institute anymore in this particular chapter. In this particular chapter, we have to make sure that ICA is being called as a council. So many places are there where you will find the council guidelines, this guidelines, that guidelines. So you can see that when you are holding this material in your hand, the study material in your hand, you will see that approximately 111 pages of code of ethics have been given. In the beginning, I have given some basic diagrams which you can refer for understanding the professional ethics, but yeah, that you should refer only when after the completion of this professional ethics. So I will try my level best to entertain some questions also in the professional ethics, so that you will get an idea how practically the questions of professional ethics comes in the examination. Anyways, we are going to have a discussion on our question bank also at the later stage, but yes, let us first complete the conceptual clarity of what professional ethics is going to have for all of you. Am I correct, everyone? So let us understand what the professional ethics is having for you in the pocket. So let us start with the topic called Code of Ethics, CA Act 1949. So as you can see that already the weightage of the marks, which I have already told you what kind of weightage this particular chapter is having. This particular chapter is going to have approximately 16 to 20 marks of weightage. What is the proper weightage of this chapter? This chapter is going to give a weightage of 16 to 20 marks of weightage is there in this particular chapter, and out of that 4 to 5 marks are going to come in the form of MCQs, and at the same point of time, we are going to have what, 12 to 14 marks are going to come in the descriptive form. So in total, that's what I'm telling you, the range is going to be 16 to 20 marks in total. That is what the basic idea behind the professional ethics, right? So what we'll do is, if the space will allow, if the provision will allow, we will try to write the major understanding of the provisions at there itself only, in the professional ethics only. But let me tell you one thing, make sure that you're making the notes of this professional ethics along with the reading of the lecture. Along with watching the lecture, you should have one book and a pen very much ready, so that whenever I am going to write something here, you should also write the same thing on the spot on your professional ethics, and accordingly we are going to proceed. Yes, once the clauses will start, once those 34 clauses will start, there I will start using the handwritten notes also, which you all are habitual of, I think, and you will find it very interesting also. So thanks for that good feedback that yes, the notes are very helpful to you. So that notes I'll be starting taking when we'll be entering into what? We'll be entering into the clauses. But before the clauses, let us see how much portion we can do it on the material itself only. So each and every word will be told to you, and this is how you have to make sure that you are also reading this particular topic in this way. So let us start without failing. You can all see that the first topic what we are going to start is, we are going to have an synopsis of this particular topic, whether this code of ethics, Chartered Accountants Act 1949 is applicable where. So what is the scope? What is the scope of this act? The scope of this act is, it is extended to whole of India, including what? Jammu and Kashmir. That is what you have to understand. Maybe a probable MCQ question which may come in your examination. I hope all of you are understanding the provision. Yes. So as discussed, the scope of this particular act is extended to whole of India, including what? Jammu and Kashmir. I hope all of you are understanding that. Yes. Now, what is the first thing we have to understand? The first thing, we will go in a very slow manner, and we have drafted, the ICA has drafted this chapter in such a manner so that you can slowly understand what things you need to do. So first we'll do some definition parts. We will create a base for this CA Act 1949. We'll create a base for the Code of Ethics, Professional Ethics, and then slowly we'll try to enter into the core of the Code of Ethics. Are you getting the point? So let us start with just be relaxed. Are you getting the point? This particular topic is going to give you a insight of what chartered accountant's life becomes after getting qualified. Either you are a member in practice or you're a member in what do you say, service, right? So who is known as a chartered accountant? First of all, let me tell you one thing. The chartered accountant's definition under the Chartered Accountant Act 1949 is given under section number 2 subsection 1 clause B. Now what does the section number 2 subsection 1 clause B says? That a chartered accountant is a person, a chartered accountant is a person who is a member of the institute. First, let me tell you one thing. When do you call yourself as a chartered accountant? You are a chartered accountant after qualifying your CA final exams. You have to apply for two things. One is known as membership number, members number, that is called membership number. Another one is known as COP. Now listen, after getting qualified, it is your choice. If you really want to practice in future, but you want to go into the employment right now, it's better that you should at least apply your membership number, and as and when you are thinking of coming into the practice, then you can hold a COP. Are you getting the point? And those chartered accountant who immediately after getting qualified wants to come into practice, they have to apply both. What they have to apply? Membership number as well as what? COP. So if you apply the membership number and if you apply the certificate of practice, if the chance will come, I would like to show you in the next lecture how my COP looks like and how my membership certificate looks like. I think that will give the motivation to you people to qualify your CA examinations as soon as possible. So I can call myself that my name is CA Rohit Grover and I'm a qualified practicing chartered accountant. Remember one thing, the word chartered accountant is very important to be considered here. The chartered accountant, the full designation below your name, you are only allowed to write if you are a member in practice. If you are a member in service, if you are a member of ICA, but you are in employment, you are in service, you are only allowed to prefix the two letters that is called CA before your name. So if I introduce myself that I'm CA Rohit Grover, that's it. It means I'm introducing myself as I'm a member in service. But if I'm saying that I'm CA Rohit Grover and I'm a qualified practicing chartered accountant, I'm using the word called chartered accountant below my name. It means what? I am a member in practice. Are you getting the point or not? Yes. I hope you all understood this topic. Yes, sir. Yes. So when do you call yourself as a chartered accountant? You call yourself as a chartered accountant if you're a member in practice holding a valid certificate of practice. But if you're only holding a membership number, no certificate of practice you have applied from the ICA, you are only allowed to prefix the two letters CA before your name. So I can write on my nameplate what I can make my nameplate of. My nameplate can be CA Rohit Grover in the bracket chartered accountant. If you really want to use this full designation called chartered accountant, you have to be in practice. That is the first thing you have to understand before entering into this particular topic called code of ethics, right? So let us see what is the definition of this particular topic called chartered accountant. Chartered accountant means a person who is a member of institute. It means to call yourself as a chartered accountant, you have to be a member of institute and you should be entitled that your name should be registered or entered in the register of member under section 4. So remember one thing, after getting qualified, when you will apply the membership number, your name will be registered in the register of members, which is going to be maintained, which is maintained by ICAI. If your name is written in the ICAI register of members, then only you can call yourself as a chartered accountant. Are you getting the point? And that register is maintained by the ICAI under section number 4. So what is a section 2 subsection 1 clause B definition is talking about the chartered accountant. A chartered accountant is a one. So tell me guys, who is a chartered accountant now? Tell me, who is a chartered accountant? A chartered accountant is the one who is a member of whom? ICAI plus, who is a member of ICAI plus is entitled to be registered, is entitled to register his name in register of members maintained by whom? ICAI. So if you're a member of ICAI or if your name is registered or entered in the register of members, then in that case you are known as a chartered accountant under section 2 subsection 1 clause B. I hope everyone understood. Yes sir. Now the next thing what we have to understand, who is known as member deemed to be in practice. Now, what do you mean by member deemed to be in practice? We understood who is called a chartered accountant. Now we are going to understand who is called a member deemed to be in practice. That is given under section 2 subsection 2. Section 2 subsection 2. Section 2 subsection 1 clause B talks about chartered accountant. Section 2 subsection 2 talks about members deemed to be in practice. It means when a member will be considered that yes, he is a practicing chartered accountant. Now, there are so many things you have to understand when you are going to be calling yourself as a practicing chartered accountant. Now, see that what they are trying to tell. They are trying to tell you this and try to understand this. A member shall be deemed to be in practice. A member shall be deemed to be in practice. When you are going to call yourself as a practicing CA, either individually or in partnership with the chartered accountant. So as you all know, under the company audit, we have also understood that you can practice in India in the three different ways. Either you can open a sole proprietor, or you can open a partnership firm of chartered accountants, or you can open what? A LLP of chartered accountants. So right. So either you are individually practicing or you are practicing with the another practicing chartered accountants being in partnership firm is in consideration of remuneration received or to be received. It means what? When you are going to be called as a member deemed to be in practice, if you are engaged in the practice of accountancy, if you are engaged in the practice of what? Accountancy. If you are practicing accountancy, then you will be known as a member deemed to be in practice. And second point, offers to perform services including the auditing or verification of financial transactions, books, accounts, records, or the preparation, verification, certification of financial accounting and related statement, and holds himself out to public as an accountant. Means what? In the point number A, the section number 2 subsection 2 is saying that when you are going to call yourself as a member deemed to be in practice, if you are practicing accountancy, or in the point number B, they are saying that if you are practicing what? Auditing. If you are practicing what? Auditing. So in the point number A and point number B, what the CA Act 1949 is trying to tell you that when you are deemed to be known as a member in practice, if you are practicing accountancy or if you are practicing auditing. Along with the auditing, if you are also practicing verification of financial transactions, verification of books, verification of records, certification of financial accounting or related statements, or hold himself to the public as an accountant. Are you getting the point? The point number one, if you are practicing accountancy. Point number two, if you are practicing auditing, along with that, you are also doing the work of verification of what? Financial statements, books, records, and you are also engaged in certification of financial accounting, and to the public, you are holding yourself to the public as an accountant. That is what is written in point number B. Are you getting the point? So make sure that you are using these words. You are involved in auditing. You are involved in verification of financial transactions, books, accounts, and you are also involved in preparation and verification or certification of what? Financial accounting, and you are holding yourself to the public as what? Accountant. Then only you're going to be called as what? Don't worry, I will share the whole module with you in this way only, so that you can have a connection when you're preparing by reading the module only. Are you getting the point? Don't worry, when the video lecture will be updated, when all the professional ethics video lectures will be uploaded and will be given to you, along with that this material also will be uploaded, you can have an access to it. Don't worry at all, right? So when you are going to be called as a member deemed to be in practice, sir, when I'm practicing accountancy, or if I'm into the practice of auditing, if I'm practicing the verification of financial statements, if I'm into the practice of verification of books of accounts or records, I'm into the verification certification of financial accounting, and to the public I'm holding myself as an accountant. Or you are rendering what? You are rendering professional services or assistance in or about the matters of principle or details relating to accounting procedures, or recording, presentation and certification of financial facts or data. It means what? You are rendering the services of a professional. You are rendering the assistance as a financial expert. Then also you will be known as a member deemed to be in practice. So in the point number C, we can say that if you are rendering professional services as what? Financial expert. If you are rendering the professional services as a financial expert, sir, make sure that while doing the preparation you have to read each and every word, because they are never going to ask you. Sometimes they may ask you, I will not say that they are never going to ask you, but sometimes if they will ask you who is known as a member deemed to be in practice, so point number one, may make sure that you are using the keyword called he should be in practice of accountancy. In the point number two, the keyword should be auditing, verification of financial information, financial accounting, books of accounts, and in the point number three, rendering the professional services and assisting and certification of financial facts or something. So if you are into any of these three areas, accountancy, auditing and professional services and assistance, you will be known as a member deemed to be in practice, or in the opinion of council renders such other services as in the opinion of council. I told you that we have to start using the word called council when it comes to the code of conduct. Instead of using the word institute, we are going to call the IC as a council. In the opinion of council, if you are providing other services as may be rendered by a chartered accountant in practice, and the words to be in practice with their grammatical variation and conjugate expression shall be construed accordingly. But a very important explanation have been given by the CA Act 1949. If you are a chartered accountant, if you are a salaried employee, now see, an associate or a fellow of the institute, it means if you are an associate chartered accountant or if you are a fellow chartered accountant of the institute who is a salaried employee of a chartered accountant in practice or a firm of such chartered accountants, you are a associate chartered accountant or you are a fellow chartered accountant, but you are working under a CA firm as a salaried employee and you are training their article assistants, then also you will be termed as a member deemed to be in practice. So let's take an example. Let's take an example. Suppose Rohit sir. So me, I'm a associate, or I'm a FCA. You can see that It is an FCA. So I'm a fellow chartered accountant. Sir, when do you call someone a fellow chartered accountant? Don't worry. We'll all come to know in this act only. So Rohit sir is an FCA, is working as a salaried employee in ABC and Co. Chartered Accountants. So I am FCA. I'm working as a salaried employee in ABC and Co, which is a chartered accountants firm. It is a chartered accountant practicing firm. And in this firm, to their article assistants, I am providing what? I am providing training to them. I am providing what to them? Training to them. So council says that if you are an associate or a fellow chartered accountant of ICAI and you are working as a salaried employee under a chartered accountant in practice or a firm of practicing chartered accountants, and there you are training their article assistants, and for the purpose of professional services, then in that case you are going to be deemed as a member to be in practice. So see the explanation. An associate or fellow of institute who is a salaried employee of a chartered accountant in practice or a firm of chartered accountants shall, notwithstanding such employment, be deemed to be in practice for the limited purpose of the training of what? Article assistants. If you are giving the training to the article assistants of the firm where you are working as a salaried employee, irrespective of your employment, if you are an associate or a fellow of a council and you are giving them the training to the article assistant, you will be treated as a member deemed to be in practice. So sir, in total, when you are going to be called as a member deemed to be in practice, so listen to this very carefully. Point number 1, member deemed to be in practice, MDP, member deemed to be in practice, section number 2, subsection 2. So here only I told you that I will try my level best to make you write the notes here itself only. Anyways, we are going by word and will try my level best to write the notes here itself only. And I already told you these notes are going to be shared to you when the lecture series of professional ethics will be over. So when the member deemed is going to be deemed to be in practice, first of all, if you are practicing accountancy, or if you are practicing auditing, plus you are also practicing certification of financial accounting, plus you are also practicing verification of financial statements and records, and if you are providing the professional services or assistance as a what? Financial expert for what? For certification of financial facts, certification of financial facts, and if you are providing other services which are allowed by whom? Council. If you're providing which services? Other services which are allowed by whom? Council. Plus here itself only, plus you are a salaried ACA or FCA. What is ACA? Associate or fellow chartered accountant. You are a salaried associate or fellow chartered accountant employee working under a practicing CA or firm of chartered accountants, and you are giving training. You are giving what? Training to the article assistants. You are giving training to the article assistants of this particular practicing CA or a firm of practicing chartered accountant. Then also council says that notwithstanding anything to your employment, you will be treated as a member deemed to be in practice. I hope everything is crystal clear when you are going to be called as a chartered accountant and when you are going to be called as a member deemed to be in practice. So let us revise. Section number 2, subsection 1, clause B talks about chartered accountant. When you are going to be called as a chartered accountant, so if you are a member of an institute or you are entitled to register your name in the register of members maintained by the ICAI as per section number 4, that is why when you will be called as a chartered accountant. Second thing, when a member is going to be deemed to be known as member in practice, if you are practicing accountancy, if you are practicing auditing, if you are practicing verification of financial statements, records and books, if you are also practicing in the certification of financial accounting, and you are telling to the public, holding yourself to the public as an accountant, or you are providing professional services or assistance as a financial expert in certification of the facts, and in the council's what do you say, in the council's what do you say perception, in the council's point of view, you are providing such other services. And one more thing, if you are a fellow or an associate of an institute and you're working as a salaried employee in one firm of chartered accountants or under a practicing CA, and you are giving the training to their article assistants, then also for the limited purpose you will be treated as a member deemed to be in practice. That is, what do you mean by the members deemed to be in practice definition under section 2 subsection 2? Are you getting the point? Yes. So with that, any doubt? Sir, no doubt. If any doubt, you already know that the numbers are going to come here, right? So there you can contact me at any point of time. I'm always available, right? Next point. So now, section 2 subsection 2, we are going to little bit what? Expand now. Now what section 2 subsection 2 is going to be expanded? Section 2 subsection 2 clause D is also saying that the council has passed a resolution permitting a chartered accountant in practice to render some range of management consultancy and other services. Sir, section number 144 is coming in our mind. In the company audit chapter, you told us that management services are not allowed. There I told you that management consultancy services are not allowed. As a statutory auditor, if you are providing the management consultancy services, then in that case you are disqualified to be a statutory auditor of that company with the immediate effect under section 141 subsection 3. Yes, I remember that we have understood section number 144 in the company audit also. But here the council has passed a resolution saying that these are the list of those management consultancy and other services which can be provided by whom? The practicing CA. Which can be provided by the practicing CA. Not being a statutory auditor, these are the services which you can provide. Don't confuse section number 144 with this thing. Now here you might be thinking that, so section 2 clause D of CA Act 1949 is saying that councils are permitted some management consultancy and other services. And there in the Companies Act, sir, you are saying that 144 are known as prohibited services. Sir, there it is prohibited if you are a statutory auditor of a company. And that is only relating to Companies Act. Only applicable to the companies. Section number 144 does not allow you to provide the list of those 11 to 12 services which we have written prohibited services when you are working as a statutory auditor in a company. But here section 2 subsection 2 clause D is telling you that what kind of management consultancy services you can provide, not along with being a statutory auditor. Nowhere it is written that you are a statutory auditor and you can provide that. They are saying that these are the list of services which you can provide. Obviously you have to take care that you are not a statutory auditor at that point of time when you are providing these management consultancy and other services as per section number 2 subsection 2 clause D. These are the list of those management and consultancy services which you have to learn, which you can provide. Not being as a auditor. As a statutory auditor, if you are providing these services, then you are disqualified. So here nowhere it is written that you are allowed to provide these services as an auditor. So they are just giving you the list under section 2 subsection 2 clause D. So shall we read? Yes sir. Now see, what does the ICA is telling? What does the ICA is saying? ICA is saying that pursuant to section 2 subsection 2D above, the council has passed a resolution permitting a chartered accountant in practice to render the entire range of management consultancy and other services. Now what kind of management consultancy and other services which are given below? It shall not include the function of statutory or periodical audit or tax, both direct or indirect tax audit, representation or advice concerning tax matters, or acting as a liquidator, trust executor, administrator, arbitrator, receiver, but shall include the following. They are saying that this particular section does not include statutory audit, does not include tax audit, does not include GST audit, either direct tax or indirect tax. If you are working as a liquidator, that is not included in this definition. Working as a statutory auditor, not included in this definition. working as a arbitrator, not including in this definition, as an administrator, as a trustee executioner, that is not included in this definition. So in the beginning they have given the exclusion list, and in the below the chart you are able to see that is the inclusion list. Are you getting the point? So what they are saying again, it shall not include. So tell me guys, what are the exclusions? It shall not include statutory audit or periodical audit. Statutory audit is nothing but the final audit or periodical audit. It shall not include tax representation, both direct and indirect. It shall not include advices concerning to tax matters. Acting as a liquidator, not included. Acting as a trust executor, not included. Acting as an administrator, not included. Acting as an arbitrator, not including. Acting as a receiver, not included. But following list which is given below, that can be included in the definition of management consultancy services and other services. Are you getting the point? So sir, what we understood, we are starting a very giant section, very big section, section 2, subsection 2, section 2, subsection 2, clause D, talking about what? Management consultancy and other services. It does not include statutory audit or periodical audit. It does not include tax representation, both direct and indirect. It does not include advices on tax matters. It does not include working as a trustee executor. It does not include if you're working as a liquidator. It does not include if you're working as an administrator. It does not include if you're working as an arbitrator. It does not include if you're working as a receiver, but it includes the following. So this is basically a which list? Exclusion list from this particular definition. So from the management consultancy and other services definition, these are the list of services if you're providing, they are not included in the definition of management consultancy and other services. What is included? The point number one, what is included? Financial management services. What is included, everyone? Financial management services. Now read this: financial management services. In the financial management services, what kind of financial management services you can give? You can give the financial management services relating to financial planning, financial policy, capital structure planning. If you know the financial management chapter, if you know the financial management subject of your CA Inter, in the financial management, whatever the chapters names are there, you just have to remember those chapter names. Those kind of services you can provide. Can you provide the guidance on the financial planning? Yes. Can you provide the guidance on the financial policy? Yes. Can you provide the guidance on the capital structuring? Yes. Can you provide the guidance relating to how to raise a finance? Yes. Can you provide the guidance relating to working capital management? Yes. Can you provide the guidance relating to project reports? Yes. Feasibility studies, cash budgets, cash flow statement, profitability statements, sources and application, that is nothing but the fund flow statements, budgeting including capital budgeting or revenue budgeting. All the chapters of your financial management subject in your CA Enter, if you remember, that is the first thing under the management consultancy and other services which you can provide, but not being as a statutory auditor. Are you getting the point or not? If you're providing these services, it will be treated as a member providing the services under section 2, subsection 2 of clause D of CA Act 1940. Clear, everyone? So all the chapters of the financial management you have to remember when you are writing what kind of financial management services a CA in practice can provide. Clear, everyone? Yes, sir. Then management accounting services also you can provide. Along with the financial management, you can also provide the management accounting services. Sir, what kind of management accounting services? Inventory management, material handling, storage, market research, demand studies, price fixation, other management decision makings, accounting systems, cost control, management accounting system, cost controls, value analysis, control methods, management in the formation and management information and reporting, like relating to cost structure, relating to costing services, cost management accounting, how to control the cost, how to make the budgets, how to do the material handling, where to store the items, where not to store the items, decisions relating to demand studies, decisions relating to market research. All these are known as management accounting services. So point number one, you can provide the financial management services, which is given under the definition of 2 subsection D. You can also provide what? Management accounting services as a CA in practice. Right or not? So financial management services में all the chapters of financial management you have to include, and management accounting services में 4-5 names you have to understand. So demand, supplies, or you can say material handling, or you can say management information system, management reporting system, management accounting system. Are you getting the point or not? Storage services. Are you getting the word? Budgets? All those kind of services which you can provide. Inventory management, that also going to be considered under management consultancy and other services. Remember one thing, it's a huge definition, but at the end of the day, I can guarantee you it will be consumed just like anything. Now, you can also provide which services, guys? You can also provide HR management services. So which services I can provide? HR management services also I can provide. Sir, under the HR, first of all, tell me what do you mean by HR? Human resource. Whom to recruit, whom not to recruit. You can also advise the recruitment panel. You can also like advise them the selection process. You can also advise them the, what do you say, incentive plans, wage plans, like what kind of incentives, what kind of bonuses, what kind of gratuity. All those consultants and services comes under the HR manager. So you can see that personal recruitment means what? Personal means employee recruitment and selection, setting up executive incentive plans, wage incentive plans, etc. All that comes under what? HR management. You can also do management and operational audits. Now this is what I wanted to tell you. What do you mean by management and operational audit, guys? Management operational audits are the part of internal audit. So if you are an internal auditor, you can't be the statutory auditor. Are you getting the point or not? So if you are providing management, consultancy and other services, then obviously you need not, or you should not, or you must not be the statutory auditor. This is just a list of services we are learning. It has no connection with 144. In the 144 under section 141 subsection 3, we have already understood in these two sections, if you are a statutory auditor, then you can't provide the management consultancy services. But what kind of management consultancy services you can provide not being a statutory auditor, that list we are doing. So first one, financial management services you can provide, management accounting services you can provide, HR related services you can provide, and management and operational audit services also you can provide, right? Management and operational audits. Then what are the services you can provide? Now this is called value added services. Now, what do you mean by value added services? You can see that valuation of shares, businesses, advice regarding the amalgamation, mergers, and acquisition. So, what kind of value added services you can provide? Like whether you can also consult the management, or you can also give the advice to the management whether you should go for this amalgamation, mergers, acquisition, absorption, or not. So, value addition related services. Next one, policy making services, sir. What do you mean by policy making services? Like how to make a business policy, how to make a corporate planning, organization development, growth and diversification. You all know strategic management. Whether you should go for expansion strategy, you should go for a stability strategy, you should go for a retrenchment strategy, you should expand in organic growth, what kind of inorganic growth. So basically participating in the business policies. Are you getting the point? So let us understand. So what is not included? Let's start from the beginning. Exclusion list. So statutory audit or periodical audit is not included. So both direct and indirect taxation representations not included. The advice on tax matters not included. Sir, executioner not included. Sir, executor not included. Liquidator not included. Receiver not included. Arbitrator not included. Administrator not included. So what is included? Financial management services you can provide. HR related services you can provide, management accounting related services you can provide, management and operational related service, operational audit related services you can provide. You can also provide the counseling on amalgamations and mergers and acquisitions, and you can also provide what? You can also provide the counseling on business policies, expansion strategy. So basically, if I'm not wrong, you can write here as what? Strategic management. Strategic management. All the chapters of the strategic management you write here, your purpose will be served. Then you can also provide the training related services. Sir, what do you mean by training related services? Training to the staff, how to make them more efficient, behavioral services, Right or not? You all know that chartered accountant must be very good in behavioral sciences, that we have already learned in the intermediate level. The organization structure, behavior, development of human resource, including design and conduct of training programs, work study, job description, job evaluation, evaluation of the workload, how many hours should be devoted to this particular activity, how to train the employees to make them more efficient, where they are lacking, identifying those areas and consulting it to the management. All these are covered under these kind of services. I hope all of you are understanding. Yes sir, we are understanding. Now let us understand the remaining part. Next part is what, sir? IT related service. Sir, what do you mean by IT related services? Computer related services, information system controls, how to avoid the hacking, all those kind of consultancy also you can give. So that is called IT related service. The systems analysis, designs, computer related services, including selection of hardware, development of software. So mota what you have to do, sir, the big things you have to understand is the main headings. Sir, financial management services, management accounting services, business policy services, HR related services, training related services, value addition services. Sir, what do you say? IT related services. Am I correct? And most importantly, policy making related services. So all these are the services which you can include, and exclusion list we have already understood above. Next point, you can also give the advisory consultancy services, but you have to be very careful in this particular topic. Sir, why we need to be very much careful in this topic? This topic is connected with SEBI, prospectus, issue of shares, how what kind of consultancies you can provide to the management when they are going for IPO, FPO, how to make the share capital structure, how much should be the debt fund, how much should be the shares fund. Either you should go via private placement or you should go via prospectus, you should go for bonus issue, right issue. All these kind of consultation, helping in drafting the prospectus, helping in arranging the experts, all these kind of consultancy services which are connected with the issue of securities. So that is known as advisory consultation. Now see, acting as an advisor or consultant to an issue, including such matters: drafting of prospectus, memorandum, drafting and filing of listing agreement, that is LODR consultation also you can give, which we have done in audit committee and corporate governance, relating to stock exchanging, registrar of companies, ROC related work, SEBI related work, publicity budgets, advice, marketing strategies also you can help them while issuing the prospectus. Do we have to market ourselves or not? Yes, we are this company, we are that company. That kind of market strategy is also a member in practice can provide under section 2 subsection 2 clause D under management consultancy and other services. Yes sir, you can also provide the services relating to ad media, like what kind of ad media you should go for, whether the company should go for television advertisement, internet advertisement, publicity. Then you can also act as a banker to issue, collection center, broker to issue, underwriters. So any word relating to SEBI Act, underwriting agreements, banker to issue, merchant banking, drafting and helping in prospectus, relating to marketing, ad media, all these services in connection with issue of securities, that also you can provide. But the head what you have to write is advisory consultant. Am I correct or not? Including what? Including application form, prospectus, brochure, deciding on quantum of issue material, relevant provisions of the code of ethics must be kept in mind. They are saying that ki, okay, provide these services. ICA is saying that provide these services, but in a which manner? Ethical manner. Are you getting the point? Don't get too much involved in that. Provide the services, but within a limit. Always keep the code of ethics in your mind. And most importantly, advices regarding selection of various agencies connected with the issue, namely registrar to issue, printers, advertising agencies, where they should give this contract, where they should not give this contract for advertising, where they should get for printing of prospectus, where they should not go. All these relating services, advices on post issue activities also. So what do you mean by post issue activities? Like refunds, share application refunds, or like a dispatch of share certificates, dispatch of share warrants, all those things, instruments, dispatch of certificates, refunds with the various agencies connected with the work. So this is what the various kind of agency related services which you can provide under the management consultancy and services. But there are three major services under the advisory consultancy services, you are not allowed to provide. It is not exclusion list, it is prohibition list. What is for prohibition list? You can't be involved in portfolio management services. You can't be involved in underwriting services. Sir, underwriting तो ऊपर लिखा हुआ है. Now listen to this. I will tell you what is the difference between this point and that point. And you can't be involved in broking services. Now listen this. Hereby the council has very much cleared that underwriting, portfolio management and broking services are not going to be the part and parcel of management consultancy and other services. Sir, what is the reason? Why these three? Because in these three, you can see that the word called broking. Broking means dalal. In Hindi, we call it as dalal. Dalal means persons who work for commission basis. Are you getting the point? To get the more commission, they will be ready to do the unethical practices also. Are you understanding my point? Think from the ethical character of an auditor's or chartered accountant's point of view. To get the more commission, you may sometimes get involved in the unethical practices. So underwriting commission, underwriting activities, portfolio management activities and broking activities are prohibited. It is clarified that they are not going to be the part of section 2 subsection 2 clause D of management consultancy and other services. Now question is, sir, here too you wrote underwriting, but underwriting above is also written. Are you getting the point? Now we did not listen or read the properly. We did not see the word properly. Selection of underwriters advisory is possible to be given. He can give the advice for the selection of underwriters. Suppose 10 underwriters are there. He can tell to the management, choose this underwriter, don't choose this underwriter, or you may choose this underwriter. Selection services, selection of underwriting services can be provided, but you cannot work as an underwriter. So, selection of underwriters, consultancy, permitted. Tick means permitted, but working as underwriter, not allowed. Are you getting the difference between this and this? I'm connecting both the points so that you can understand when I'll be sharing this document with you. Remember one thing, you cannot be appointed as an underwriter. You cannot do the work of underwriter, but yes, you can give the consultancy to the management which underwriter should be appointed. You are not allowed, but your selection criteria, your selection counseling is allowed. Selection advisory is allowed. That is the reason I'm telling you now, each and every word in this particular topic is very important. So tell me one thing, what are the services we can provide? Let's come back again. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's complete this topic and after that we'll do the total full-fledged meaning of section 2 subsection 2 clause D. You can also provide the services of what? You can also provide the services of what? Investment counseling. Investment counseling में what kind of services you can give? Each and every word is very important. Investment counseling in respect of securities, in respect of SCR Act and other financial instrument. In doing so, relevant provisions of Code of Ethics must be kept in mind. Means what? Give some advice, but don't get too much involved. If you are getting too much involved, it will be indirectly treated as portfolio management. Now, portfolio management is allowed service or disallowed? Sir, disallowed services, prohibited services. Clearly, three have been mentioned. Always remember, these three have been prohibited. Above list is exclusion, and in between we have done the inclusion. So first we did exclusion of the definition, then we did the inclusions of the definition. In the inclusion under advisory consultant, three are excluded. You can't work as an underwriter, you can't be a portfolio manager, or you can't be what? Providing the broking services. They are unethical. That is being clarified by whom? ICI. And under the investment counseling, you can only give the investment counseling partially. Complete involvement will turn it into portfolio management. That is not allowed. Clear, everyone? Yes, sir. Issue management. What do you mean by issue management? When you have issued the securities, how to manage the money, how to manage the cash, in which account the cash should be coming, issue relating to the certificates and all those things. Again, you can provide that services acting as a what? Let us see, acting as a what? Acting as a registrar. to an issue and for the transfer of shares and securities. In doing so, again, code of ethics must be kept in mind. What are the other consultancy services you can provide, sir? In the other consultancy services, what you can provide? You can provide quality audit. You can provide quality audit, environmental audit, energy audit. That is what is going to be the part of your, this special audits. Are you getting the point? So you can do the environmental audit, energy audit. You can also act as a recovery consultant in the banking sector. You are not going to work as a recovery agent. Each and every word matters, guys. You can act as a recovery consultant, not as recovery agent, because if you're a recovery agent, that is nothing but called broking services only, na. So recovery agent not allowed, recovery consultancy allowed. Clear, everyone? So you are going to tell them the methods how they can recover their NPAs, non-performing assets. You can give them a consultancy, but you can't work as a recovery agent. That is not our forte. That chartered accountants are not allowed to do as a practicing services. And you can also work under the IRDA regulations. Remember one thing, IRDA stands for Insurance Regulatory Development Authority services. What kind of that? Insurance, financial advisory services under the IRDA Act, including insurance brokerage. Remember one thing, why it is written like that. Insurance agent under the Insurance Act 1938, you are not allowed. But if you are doing the insurance brokerage services, especially now, see, sir, here broking services are completely prohibited. If you can see here, broking services are completely prohibited, but you are allowed to have insurance brokerage services which are permitted under IRDA Act 1999. Are you getting the point or not? Remember one thing, general brokering services not allowed, but brokering services as a insurance brokerage, including insurance brokerage, is allowed, but that too under the IRDA Act 1990. So let us understand what does this section 2 subsection 2 clause D talks about. Sir, Council has clarified that a chartered accountant in practice can provide the management consultancy and other services. What is excluded in this definition? The statutory audit or periodical audit is excluded. The tax consultancy services are excluded, both direct and indirect. Executor, trustee executor excluded, arbitrator excluded, administrator excluded, receiver excluded, liquidator excluded. So what is included? Financial management services are included, management accounting services are included, HR management services are included, management and operational audit is included, value added services are included, business policy services are included, planning services are included, training of the employee services are included. Am I correct or not? Then what do you say? Agent consultant services are included, but in that three are not included. Broking is prohibited, and portfolio management is prohibited, and underwriting is prohibited. But sir, can you be a consultant towards the selection of underwriter? Yes, but you can't be the underwriter. So under the broking also, which one is allowed? Directly you should go to the last point. So only those insurance brokerage services are allowed which are permitted under IRDA Act 1999. Can you do the quality audit? Yes. Can you do the energy audit? Yes. Can you do the environmental audit? Yes. Can you work as a recovery agent? No. But can you work as a recovery consultant to the banking regulation act under the banking sector? Yes. Are you getting the point? Can you do the can you consult in the form of IT related services, computer related services? Yes. This is how you have to make sure that management consultancy services and other services definition 2 2 subsection 2 clause D is going inside your head. So basically, let me draw the structure for you. Management, let's draw the structure for you. Management, consultancy and other services. The section number, the 2 subsection 2 clause E, correct? Now first we understood the exclusion list. Remember the exclusion list, then understand the inclusion list. That is very easy. So automatically when they will ask you the question, they will definitely ask you the question in MCQ, is this particular service is included in the management consultancy and other services as per section 22D or not? Yes, the inclusion list. And then 3, particularly we have done the prohibited list. So in the prohibited list, let me write what are the 3 prohibited. Whenever you will see the word called broking, whenever you will see the word called underwriting, and whenever you will see the word called portfolio management, that is not permitted by the council. So this is what the section 2. So now we can say that our definition of member deemed to be in practice under section 2, subsection 2 is now over. Are you getting the point? First, you should be practicing accountancy, or you should be practicing auditing or certification of financial statement or certification of financial accounting or any other professional services and advisory services, or you are a ACA or FCA of a council working as a salaried employee in a chartered accountants firm or a firm of chartered accountants practicing firms, and you are giving the training to their article assistant for the limited purpose. Again, you are going to be treated as a member deemed to be in practice. And if you are providing the following management consultancy and other services under section 22D, 22D, 2 subsection 2D, then also you are going to be treated as a member deemed to be in practice. So now you can say that section number 2 is over. Almost it took 1 hour to make you understand these two definitions. Not 1 hour exactly, first 15-20 minutes I told you the introduction. I hope now you are understanding what you can do after getting qualified, what you can't do after getting qualified. This is what the basic purpose of the professional ethics in total. Are you getting the point? Now we are going to understand section number 4. Sir, what is section number 4? Register of members. Section number 4, register of members. When do you call as a member of ICA? It's a very simple thing. We are going to understand it. When do you call yourself as a member of ICA? Any person. What they are saying? Any person shall be entitled to have his name entered in the register of member who has passed such examination and completed such training as may be prescribed for the members of what? Institute. Sir, now what do you mean by such examination? Such examination means CA final. Sir, completed such a training means what? GMCS plus articles of how many years? 3 years. So if you have completed articles of 3 years, and if you have completed your general management and communication skills course, and you have cleared your CA final examinations, you are entitled to include your name in register of members. That is what section number 4 is talking about. Clear? Right or not? Now for the first 5 years, now we have to understand that for the first 5 years of your practice you are going to be called as an associate chartered accountant, but after continuous practice of 5 years from associate, you turn yourself from associate to fellow chartered accountant. So I started my practice in the May 2013. I got qualified in the July 2013, started my practice in May 2013. From the May 2013 till now, I am continuously into the practice. So by the 2018 May, basically I applied in August 2018. I continuously working as a practicing CA. So from the ACA, now I have turned myself into an FCA. So you can see my status. It is written here FCA. Why it is written FCA? Now I can call myself as a fellow chartered accountant of ICA. Sir, what do you mean by fellow chartered accountant? When you complete the 5 continuous years of your practice, then in that case you call yourself as a fellow chartered accountant. Am I correct or not? But remember one thing, till the time you don't apply for your fellowship, till then ICA automatically will not turn you from ACA to FCA. You have to apply to the ICA to turn yourself from ACA to FCA. Now see, 5 years continuously in practice. 5 years continuously in practice. Thereafter, if you are still in practice, make an application and you will become an FCA. Else, FCA on application have justified practice experience. Now, this is also very important point you have to understand here. Now, try to understand here what this point is saying. After 5 years of continuous practice, if you apply to the ICAI, ICA will turn you from ACA to FCA, Associate Chartered Accountant, to Fellow Chartered Accountant. That is what the full form of ACA, Associate Chartered Accountant, and FCA stands for Fellow Chartered Accountant. But if you have done the justified, if you have not continuously done the practice for 5 years, but if you have a justified experience of a practicing chartered accountant, then also on application, ICAI may consider to turn you from ACA to FCA. So point number one, listen to this carefully. If you have done the continuous practice of 5 years, then so definitely you have a right to make an application to ICA. ICA will turn your status from ACA to FCA. But suppose you have not done the continuous practice, but equivalent to that continuous practice, you have some relevant experience of practice. Suppose in some industry, in some area, you have a relevant experience of practice, and ICA thinks that that relevant experience of practice is equivalent to your 5 continuous years of practice, then the ICA may also allow you to include your name from ACA to FCA. Now see what is being written. The members of the institute shall be divided into two classes designated respectively as associates and fellows. So when associates, when on the day one, when you apply your membership number and when you apply your certificate of practice, from the day one, you will be told as ACA, Associate Chartered Accountant. And after the 5 years of continuous practice from ACA, you turn yourself from ACA to FCA. So any person shall on his name being entered in the register to be deemed to have become an associate member of the institute. So as and when the moment your name is entered in the register, you are known as a member in practice and you are known as an ACA and be entitled to use the letters ACA after his name, indicating that he is an associate member of Institute of Chartered Accountant. It means you are allowed. Now CA Rohit Grover, you can see that my name is CA Rohit Grover and I have used the word called FCA. Like that, when I was not FCA, I used to use the word called what? ACA, Associate Chartered Accountant. But now I have completed my continuous 5 years of practice. So now from ACA, I have turned myself into an FCA. So you are allowed to use the word called ACA or FCA after your name, right? Member being an associate who has been in continuous practice in India for at least how many years, sir? 5 years. Second most important thing in India. So the two things you have to understand. You are practicing in India, plus you have practiced for at least for 5 continuous years. After that, after the commencement of this act, or whether partly before or partly after the commencement of this act, and a member who has been associate, a member who has been what? Associate for continuous period of not less than 5 years and who possesses such qualification as the council may prescribe with a view to ensuring that he has an experience equivalent to experience normally acquired as a result of continuous practice for a period of 5 years as a chartered accountant shall on payment of such fees as may be determined and on application made granted in prescribed manner to be entered in the register as fellow of institute. What you will be treated as now? Fellow of the institute and shall be entitled to use the letters FCA. So let me give you a very simple clarification. Either you should be a ACA completed 5 years of practice, then you can turn yourself into an FCA, or you were having an experience in practice, you were having an experience in practice which is equivalent to, which is equivalent to 5 years of practice, then also after making the application you can turn yourself into FCA. So there are basically two methods by which you can become an FCA, fellow chartered accountant. Either you complete your 5 years of continuous service as a chartered accountant after becoming ACA, continuous service for 5 years as a practicing CA, and automatically on application your ACA will turn into an FCA. Second thing, you were not ACA but you have an equivalent experience of 5 years of practice, then also on the application that ICAI may. The major thing is you have to start understanding or interpreting the law. They're saying council may prescribe, not council shall. Council may think that yes, if they think that yes, you are equivalent to the 5 years of practice, then also your name can be entered into the register of member as an FCA. And once you are registered in the members register as an FCA, then you will be allowed to use the word called FCA after your name. Like I am using, can I use the name? Yes, FCA, I can use the name because I proudly say that I am a fellow chartered accountant. Clear everyone? So that brings an end to the discussion on this particular paragraph called FCA and ACA. So again remember, major words, sir. Each and every word you try to see. It is not possible to read each and every word now. Now we have to read, but it will not be possible in the future when we'll be going along with the chapter. But wherever possible, wherever I think that particular word should be stressed upon, I will try my level best to bring it to your notice. Clear, everyone? So these are the two methods by which you can turn yourself from ACA to FCA. One route is from ACA to FCA after completing 5 years of continuous practice, and the second route is you can have an equivalent experience, and if the council thinks that, it may think that yes, it is equivalent to 5 years of practice, it may also turn you from ACA to FCA. Clear, everyone? Yes sir, we are clear. Now provided that council may, with the prior approval of central government, determine the fee exceeding 5,000, which shall not in any case exceed what? 5,000. Means what? This is the fee which you have to pay actually while turning yourself from ACA to FCA. So that is what the fee, like not exceeding 5,000. That is what the consultation, what the council must have with the central government while deciding the fees. Yes. Now section number 2 is over. Section number 4 is over. Now we are going to understand section number what? So 6. What is section number 6? Certificate of practice. Now, no member of the institute shall be entitled to be practiced whether in India or elsewhere unless he has obtained from the council a certificate of practice. So, COP is must to call yourself as a practicing chartered accountant. That is what I told you in the beginning. Those chartered accountants who are not having COP, they are known as members in service. Members in practice, if you want to call yourself as a member in practice, then in that case you have to obtain certificate of practice. If you are not having a certificate of practice, you are not allowed to do any kind of practice in India or elsewhere. You have to obtain certificate of practice to call yourself as a practicing chartered accountant. So in the next session I will definitely show you my certificate of practice and my membership number, so that you can understand how important the COP is for the practicing CAs. So no COP, no practice. COP, practice. So you can write that COP is equal to practice. No COP, no practice, either in India or elsewhere. That is what section number 6 is saying. Now what extra section 6 is saying? Provided that nothing contained in this subsection shall apply to any person who immediately before the commencement of this act has been in practice as a registered accountant or as a holder of restricted certificate until 1 month has elapsed from the date of first meeting of the council. They are saying that those people before the commencement of this CA Act 1949, before the commencement of this CA Act 1949, if you are already into the practice as a registered accountant and you that time COP concept was not there, then in that case it will not affect you people. You will be still treated as a practicing CA only, because COP you can only apply once the act has given the provision for that. So before the commencement of this act, if you are registered yourself as a registered accountant, that practice also will be considered as a practicing chartered accountant. That is what is written in this paragraph. The certificate of practice obtained under subsection 1 may be cancelled by the council under such circumstances as may be prescribed. So remember one thing, don't be under the impression that council can't do anything once the certificate of practice is obtained or once the certificate of membership is obtained. Don't worry, ICA is an eagle. Do you know the symbol of ICA? Symbol of ICA is eagle. It is having an eagle eye on you. Whenever you are trying to become any, you are trying to do any kind of unethical activity, whenever you are guilty of professional misconduct or any kind of other misconduct, ICA will snatch away this practicing certificate from you. So it is a revocable certificate. Indirectly, you can say that it is revocable certificate. So ICA can revoke it if they think that you do not deserve this certificate. Clear, everyone? Yes. Section number 7. So what is section number 7? Members to be known as chartered accountant. When the members to be known as chartered accountant, actually basically in section number 7 what we are going to understand the same thing which I told you in the beginning of this chapter. Tell me one thing, what is the introduction I give every time whenever I introduce myself? Sir, I am CA Rohit Grover, a chartered accountant. The word chartered accountant is a very proud designation. Full word chartered accountant. If you want to write it below your name in the bracket, you have to be in practice. If you are not in practice, you are not allowed to use the designation called chartered accountant. You can only prefix the two words CA before your name. But I can use the word CA as well as the designation called chartered accountant because I'm a proud qualified practicing chartered accountant. मेरे पास COP है. I have a COP. Therefore, I can introduce myself. I am CA Rohit Grover. So my introduction will be CA. My introduction will be CA Rohit Grover. That is what you can also write once you will get qualified. But if you are not holding a COP, but I can use my name chartered accountant. Now this designation I'm talking about, what I'm talking about is this designation. So when we can use this chartered accountant below your name if you are holding a certificate of practice, that is what we are going to understand in section number 7. Clear everyone? So let us understand what section number 7 is having for you. Every member of the institute in practice, what is written? Every member of the institute who is in practice shall means must, and any member may use the designation of a chartered accountant, and no member using such a designation shall use any other description, whether in addition thereto, in substitution therefore. What I'm trying to tell you is that, now listen to this very careful. बहुत important point है. Now I am double qualified. I am CA as well as CS. I qualified CA, I qualified CS. But let's take an example. I am practicing CA. You can't practice the two professions at one point of time. So I'm a practicing chartered accountant. When I'm a practicing chartered accountant, I cannot use a word called company secretary before my name or after my name or below my name. Are you getting the point? Company secretary word I cannot use. So what is this provision? Basically, try to understand. I'm practicing in one profession. So when I'm using the word called chartered accountant below my name, I'm not allowed to use any other profession's designation. That doesn't look ethical. That is what ICA is trying to tell you in section number 7. So if I'm using the word called chartered accountant below my name and I'm a company secretary qualified also, but am I practicing CA? CS? No, I'm not a practicing CS. I'm a practicing CA. I will use a word called chartered accountant below your name. I cannot use the word called company secretary because you can use the word called company secretary if you're a practicing CS. But if you're a practicing CS, you can't be a practicing CA because two professions cannot be practiced together. But yes, there is one profession in India which can be practiced together with the chartered accountancy, that is called advocate, that is called bar council registration, that is called lawyer. If I'm an advocate and if I'm a chartered accountant, both qualified advocate and qualified lawyer or qualified chartered accountant, I can practice the advocate under the bar council certificate and I can also practice my chartered accountancy. These are the two courses which can be practiced together. Other than these two, CS, CMA along with CA, you can practice either of them, but you are not allowed to practice all of them. So if I'm a practicing chartered accountant, I'm not allowed to use a word called what? Company secretary. But sir, we have seen so many people using the word called CS. CS is allowed. I can use the word CA Rohit Grover, comma FCA, comma CS. That is my designation. That is my qualification. I'm a company secretary qualified, but I cannot use a word called company secretary because I'm already using the word called chartered accountant below your name. That is what is going to be told in this particular section called section number 7. So remember one thing, company secretary word is not allowed. So let us see what this section is saying. Provided that nothing contained in this section shall be deemed to be prohibit any such person from any adding any other description or letters to his name. That is what I'm telling you. CMA, CS, MBA, these letters you can use. ICA is not telling you not to use your other qualification. Use it, but don't use the full designation because we are already using the word called chartered accountant. Are you getting the point? If entitled thereto to indicate membership of such other institute of accountancy, whether in India or elsewhere, as may be recognized in behalf by the council or any other qualification that he may possess, or to prohibit a firm, all the partners which are members of an institute and in practice from being known by the firm name as chartered accountant. So remember one thing, if you are a practicing chartered accountant, then only you are allowed to use a word called chartered accountant, and at the same point of time, you are not allowed to use any other professional designation below your name. I cannot use chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary. No. If chartered accountant, no company secretary, no cost accountant. If company secretary, no chartered accountant, no cost accountant. If I'm a cost accountant, no chartered accountant, no company secretary. Writing the full-fledged designation is only allowed in one profession. And I already told you in the future, in the coming chapters also, we are going, in the coming topics, we are going to understand कि advocate, lawyer and the chartered accountancy, these are the two courses which can be combinedly practiced in India. Otherwise, it is not allowed. So basically, what is the conclusion of section number 7? कि chartered accountant word you can use if you are a member in practice. Point number 1. Point number 2. If you are already using the word called designation chartered accountancy, other professional designation is prohibited by the council. But yes, council is not prohibiting you from using the word called CS, CMA after your name. That is what is written in Chartered Accountants Act 1949. I hope everyone is crystal clear. Yes, sir, we are crystal clear. So are we done with the section number 7? Yes, sir, we are done with section number 7. Now let us understand what is section number 8, right? So let us understand the next section, section number 8, which is known as disabilities to become a member. Now, what do you mean by disabilities? Disability does not mean that you need to be physically able. Of course, that is also one of the requirement, but here disabilities means under what circumstances you are not allowed to register your name in the register of members. It means your name will never be entered in the register of member till the time these disabilities are not removed. Are you getting the point? If you have not completed the age of 21 years, let me tell you one thing. Even though you became chartered accountant at the age of 19, 17, 18, 20, 20 and a half, but you will not be allowed to register your name. You will not be entitled to enter your name in the register of members as per section number 4 until and unless you have not completed the age of 21 years. There are so many examples of chartered accountants. Just Google it, YouTube it. You will come to know that some chartered accountants who have completed their course at the age of 18, at the age of 17, at the age of 19, but they have to wait for 3 to 4 years to make sure that their name is getting registered in the register of members maintained by the council. Are you getting the point? So let us understand what are the disabilities one by one, and we will do the full detailed analysis. As you all know that we do it for every section. So section number 8. What is the section we are going to do? Section number 8. So what is the section number 8 is talking about? Notwithstanding any contained in the section number 4, a person shall not be entitled to have a name entered or born in the register if age 21 has not attained the age of 21 years at the time of his application for entry of his name in the register. It means if you are not completed the 21 years of age and you have already completed your chartered accountancy course, you can't apply to the ICAI to enter your name in the register of members. So age of 21 years is must. Second thing, unsound. What do you mean by unsound? Are you a competent person? No. Are you a competent person from your mind? No. Are you a rational person? No. So if you are a person of unsound mind and stands so adjudged by the competent court, it means first of all, though you are unsound, and what do you mean by and? Court has also declared you. They have adjudged you as an unsound mind person, then you are not allowed, you are disabled to be entering into the register of member under section 8. Next one, if you are insolvent, if you are a undischarged insolvent, it means you are insolvent and so far you are undischarged insolvent, means what? So far you have not been discharged as an insolvent by the court. It means court still assumes that you are a undischarged insolvent. Sir, what do you mean by undischarged insolvent? Undischarged insolvent means who has not discharged his liabilities so far, who has not discharged his debt so far. So when you are unable to discharge your debt so far and you have been declared as an undischarged insolvent, then also you are not allowed to, you are disabled or you are not allowed to enter your name in the register of members. And if you are a discharged insolvent, sir, discharge insolvent means I have discharged my liabilities now. Now, what kind of problem the IC is having? in case I'm a discharged insolvent? First of all, let us understand what do you mean by discharge insolvent. Discharge insolvent means you have discharged your liability. Sir, when I have discharged my liabilities, I'm a clean sheet person. Why ICA still is making me disabled under section 8 to enter my name into the register of members? Sir, you are discharged insolvent, but you have not obtained the certificate of discharge from the competent court. Now see, being a discharged insolvent has not obtained from a court a certificate stating that his insolvency was caused by misfortune without any misconduct on his part. It means if you are a discharged insolvent and if you want to enter your name in the register of members under section 4 and if you want to remove the disability under section 8, then in that case you have to apply to the court and obtain the certificate from the court saying that ki bhaiya, your insolvency was not due to any kind of misconduct, it was unfortunate, it was misfortune, it happened suddenly, it did not happen just because you have done any kind of fraud, it was a misfortune insolvency, it was not a misconducted insolvency. But if you have not obtained this certificate, but you are discharged insolvent, still you are disabled to be entered into the register of members. Again, I am repeating, if you have not completed the age of 21 years at the time of making the application, you are disabled. Not that disabled, you are disabled to enter your name in the register of members. If you are a person of unsound mind and competent court has adjudged that you are an unsound mind, you are disabled. You are undischarged insolvent, that though you are definitely disabled, but you are a discharged insolvent, but you have not obtained the certificate from the court saying that your insolvency was not due to misconduct, it was due to misfortune. If you will obtain that certificate, you are allowed. If you not obtain that certificate, you are not allowed, you are still disabled. Clear everyone? Or if you have been convicted for an offense of moral turpitude. Now see, if the chartered accountant or a member has been convicted by a competent court where within or outside India for an offense involving moral turpitude. Let us understand what do you mean by moral turpitude. The moral turpitude means what? An event which is describing your character, an event which is a directly telling that ki you are an immoral person, you do not have ethics, you do not have the moral character, you have done something which is very disrespectful, which is very embarrassing, and you have been convicted for such kind of offense, then and punishable with a transportation or an imprisonment or of an offense not of a technical nature committed by him in his professional capacity, unless in the respect of the offense committed he has either been granted pardon or an application made by him in this behalf, the central government has by an order in writing removed the disability. Either if you have been convicted for a moral offense, moral turpitude offense, are you getting the point? And you have been imprisoned for that, or you have been punished with the transportation, are you getting the point? Until and unless central government has not removed these charges on you, you are still disabled. Remember one thing, if the central government removes the charges of your offense of moral turpitude and gives you the clean sheet, you can go to the ICA and register your name in the register of members. But if you are still not a clean sheet person, you were imprisoned, you were transported, or you committed an offense of a moral turpitude nature and you were convicted by a competent court in India or outside India, you are disabled to compete, or you are disabled to enter your name in the register of members. And what is the last one? Has been removed from the membership of an institute on being found on inquiry to have been guilty of professional or other misconduct. If you are guilty of professional misconduct or other misconduct, either under schedule 1 or schedule 2 or both the schedules. Sir, what is schedule 1, schedule 2? That is what our the major core code of ethics is all about. 34 clauses which are waiting for you. There will understand. But remember, if you have done any kind of professional misconduct, or if you are guilty of any kind of other misconduct under schedule 1 or schedule 2, you have found guilty for that, then in that case also what is going to happen? In that case also you are disabled. Total there are 6 disabilities, sir. How many? 6. Point number 1, not completed the age of 21 years. Section number 8, disabled. Point number 2, I'm a adjudged unsound person by a competent court, disabled. I'm undischarged insolvent, disabled. I'm a discharged insolvent, but I have not obtained the certificate from the court saying that my insolvency was not due to misconduct, it was due to misfortune, disabled. I have been convicted for an offense containing moral turpitude in India or outside India, have been committed with transportation or imprisonment until and unless central government has removed my charges and given me the clean sheet, then also disabled. Or you have been found guilty by the council for any kind of professional misconduct or other misconduct due to which they have removed your name from the member, you are disabled, right? Provided that person who has been removed from the membership for a specified period shall not be entitled to have his name entered in the register until the expiry of such period. So that is a very simple thing. If you have been removed as a member from the register for 6 months or 7 months, till the 6 months or 7 months, you should not try even to get your name included in the register again. So till the time of your what? Till the time of your expire, till that expiry of your time period of your punishment of removal of name, till the time you are not allowed to re-enter your name. So total there are 6 things. Sir, what are the 6 things? Let us make a chart. Section number 8 talks about 8 disabilities. So what are the 8 disabilities we have? The one is relating to 21 years, one is relating to unsound, one is relating to undischarged insolvent, one is relating to sir discharged insolvent, um, discharged insolvent, but no certificate, but no certificate. I'm writing in the short form so that you can understand. You have to go through the material one so that you can understand what is the meaning of that. And point number 5, moral turpitude offense. And point number 6, the professional misconduct or other misconduct, and you were removed. Any of these 6 disabilities have occurred on you under section 8, you are removed from the register of members, you are disabled to enter your name into the register. That brings an end to the section number 8 also. So let us understand again some parts of the section number 4, that is called membership of an institute. It's a very generalized sections. I know that half of the knowledge which I have shared with you so far in 1.5 hours, that is already known to you, but yes, there are some deeper words, there are some deeper knowledge which you should have, and slowly you will come to know that what you don't know is ocean under the Sea Act 1949. So let's just wait for some other lectures so that I can drag you to the deep discussion, a very huge discussion on this particular chapter, and make sure that we will swim in this ocean of this things in such a manner, let it be any kind of question on that, our 16 marks out of 20 or at least 12 marks out of 16 should be 100% sure. 75% marks तो पक्का लेके आने हैं किसमें? Professional ethics में, right? Now let us understand section number 4. Section number 4 of the Chartered Accountant Act provide that list of persons who are entitled to have their name registered in the members. That we already know, that's why I'm reading fast. The list read with the Chartered Accountant Regulation also includes a person who has passed the final examination of Chartered Accountancy course, completed the practical training for the requisite period as an article and audit assistant, along with the course on general management and communication skills. That I already told you, you should be a CA final cleared. If you have cleared your CA final, plus you have completed your GMCS course, plus you have completed your 3 years of articles, then only you are going to be treated as a member and you are eligible to register your name in the ROM, register of members, as maintained by the ICI. Clear everyone? Yes. So requirement for registering the name, it is given you should have cleared the CA final exam, you should have completed your articleship, you have completed your GMCS. This is about GMCS, about your articles, and this is about that we all know. But yes, sometimes these kind of basic question also comes in the examination and we fail to answer it. The reason is one, ignorance. That's it. So we think that selective study makes you perfect, but never ever underestimate ICA. Sometimes we fall into the trap of some basic questions where the ICA is going to expect something, but we write something else, right? Now, according to the regulation number 5 of the Chartered Accountants Act, the person who desires to have his name entered in the register required to submit an application in the appropriate form together with the documentary evidence about his eligibility or membership. So when you are entering your name in the register of members, you have to apply in the form of one particular form. Along with that, your evidence is that yes, you have cleared GMCS. You have to show your articleship completion certificate, CA final mark sheet, all those documents they will want as an evidence. With the prescribed fees to the secretary, on acceptance of application by the council, the applicant's name shall be entered in the register and the certificate of membership in the appropriate form shall be issued to the applicant. This is only for the membership number, but for the COP there is one separate thing. Now, what are the particulars you have to include in the registers? What kind of details will be included in the register? Your full name will be registered, date of birth will be registered, domicile will be registered, residential and professional address will be registered, date on which his name is entered in the register will be there, his qualifications, whether he holds a certificate of practice or not, and any other prescribed. Let me try if I can show you this all these things practically also or not. So let us see ICAI. Let us try out at ICAI. I think in the ICAI under the member service, let me show it to you practically. Um, Under the members empanelment, the resource service, member services, and a list of members as on 1st April. Trace a member. Let's trace me. So 23285. Let's trace it. 1A. Now you can see that my details are there in front of you. On 8th September 2020, I am a member with this number, active, COP status is full time. I'm FCP. FCP means what? Fellow Certificate of Practice. My name is Rohit Grover. I'm definitely gender male, and this is my address, and professional region is south. So this is how you track. So you can see that my membership number, my name, my address, my status, my qualification. This is called trace a member. Let me show you some another thing also. Like, I hope now it is evident that yes, I'm a chartered accountant. Yes, everyone. So this is what practically I wanted to show you. So make sure that you are reading with me in such a manner that quickly your name also. Imagine your name in this context. FCA, chartered accountant, that kind of confidence you will get when you would like, if you want to see your name, of course everyone would like to see your name, see their name. So in the e-services, let's go again, let's go to the member service now. So let's see list of members as on this thing, search the database by membership number. Let me again 2322859 so that I can show you yes how this also comes, right or not. Now you can see my qualification, like Rohit Grover ACA. It is ACA. Why? Because it is a list of members as on 1/4/2018. I became ICA. I became FCA on August 2018. So this is a list as on 1/4/2018. But I have already shown you in the trace a member thing that my name is already converted into an FCA. So this is my address, full time COP. This is my associate year. When I became associate, year 2013, I told you I started practicing, address, region in India, and no more details. So these are the various details which you can have from the ICA website. I hope all of you understood. Yes, we have understood. So let us understand one last topic for this particular session, and after that we'll continue the remaining professional ethics, code of ethics. I hope you started developing little bit of interest in this particular chapter, and it is, yes, it is very much interesting chapter and so much practical aspects we are going to learn. So let us understand a very important section that is called removal of the name from the register. Remember one thing, people generally get confused between disability and removal. There's a huge difference between that. First of all, the section number 20 talks about removal and 8 talks about what? Disability. Disability says that you are not allowed to register your name in the register of members if you are not completed 21, unsound, undischarged, discharged, moral turpitude, and removed. Now, under what circumstances your name will be removed from the register of members, that we are going to understand. Not disability, removal. So what is the topic name? The topic name is known as removal of name from the register. Now, as per section 20, the council may remove from register the name of any member. वहां पे क्या था? What we have done in section number 8, your name will not be allowed to be entered. Here, your name is already entered. It means you are already an existing members, but under what circumstances your name will be removed? That we have to understand. If the member is dead, if the member is dead, his death has taken place, so his name will be removed, or from whom a request has been received to that effect. If I voluntarily make a request to the ICA, sir, I don't want to continue as a member, please remove my name, I surrender my membership number, I surrender my COP, I don't want to continue as a member of council anymore, please remove my name. So voluntary application or on the death of a member, or who has not paid any prescribed fees required to be paid by him. So let me tell you one thing, on or before 30th September every year, you have to pay your membership fees and you have to pay your fellowship fees. So as a COP holder, you have to pay your practicing fees, that is called FCA fellowship fees, and you have to pay your membership fees on or before 30 September. If I fail to pay my fees also, then also the ICA will remove my name from the register. And who has been found to have been subject at any time when his name was entered in the register, or who at the time thereafter has become subject to any of the disabilities mentioned in section number 8. What this point is saying, this point is saying that you are already a member in the register of members, but later on some disabilities of section number 8 has come on you and you will be removed. Let's take an example. Suppose I was convicted for an offense of moral turpitude, disability. Yes, I became unsound later on, disability. I became undischarged insolvent, disability. I became discharged insolvent, or I was guilty of professional misconduct or other misconduct. So I can say that indirectly what I'm trying to tell you, that section number 20 covers the section number 8. Section number 20 also covers section number 8. So if I can say that if this is section number 20, this is section number 8. Are you getting the point? Section number 20 includes section number 8 disabilities except 21 years of age. Obviously, you are already a member. Later on, your age will grow. Age will not be reduced. So, except that 21 years wala point of the section 8 disabilities, you can include all those points one by one here. So, indirectly, I'm saying that 1, 2, 3 plus 5 points of section 8 company. Oh, sorry, section 8 of CA Act 1949. So, slip of tongue, section 8 company I said. So, section 8 of CA Act 1949. So, what are the 5 points, sir? Unsound mind. I became unsound mind after being a member. Undischarged insolvent, discharged insolvent, convicted of moral effect, moral turpitude, and guilty of professional misconduct or other misconduct. So, on or after becoming a member registered in this register, some disabilities of section number 8 have occurred on me, then also the ICA will remove me. So, under what circumstances? Under section number 20, ICA will remove my name from the register of members if I'm dead, if I voluntarily apply for removal, if I fail to pay my prescribed fees, if any disability of section number 8 have occurred on me, right? Next point. The council shall remove the name of any member from the register in respect of whom the order has been passed under Act removing him from the membership of the institute. If the name of any member has been removed from the register for the non-payment of prescribed fees as required to be paid by him, then on receipt of application, his name may be entered again in the register on the payment of his arrears of annual fees and entrances along with such additional fees as may be determined by the council. It's very simple thing that I did not pay the fees, they removed my name, I paid the fees later on with some additional fees or penalty what the ICA is charging as per the ICA guidelines. So say for example my fees is 5,000 and 1,000 rupees is a fine. So 5 plus 6, 1,000, 6,000 total I paid later on. Then my name will be re-entered in the register of members. That is what is being given. So with that, our section number 2 is over, section number 4 is over, section number 7 is over, section number 8 is over, and section number 20 is over. 20 talks about removal, 4 talks about register of members, and 7 talks about what? Chartered accountant word to be used and not another designation to be used. Section number 8 talks about what disabilities. Section number 2 talks about management and consultancy services. Section number 2 talks about chartered accountant. Section number 2 talks about members deemed to be in practice, and section number 2 subsection 1 clause B talks about chartered accountant's definition. So I hope whatever we have discussed so far has gone inside your head, including the practical thing I told you. But remember one thing: management, consultancy, and other services definition is highly important. Three things you have to divide this definition into: exclusion list, prohibition list, and inclusion list. In the inclusion list, you have given the prohibition list under the age, under the consultant. If you remember here, I have specially made it very much, in a bigger font, that for the removal of the doubt, it is hereby cleared that activities of broking, underwriting, portfolio management are not allowed. But yes, you can be into a insurance brokerage as per IRDA Act 1999, and you can be a panel who is going to decide the selection of underwriters, but you can't be the underwriter on your own. So that is what. So I will take your leave in this particular session of professional ethics. I hope all of you enjoyed this session. So I'll see you guys in the next session. Till then, be safe, be at home, and first of all, uh, I was not well since last so many days, so because of that reason, I was unable to record the classes on time. So little bit of delay is there. So that's the reason I was majorly was not able to upload the classes and provide you the classes. So make sure that you are like giving me a kind of sorry. So thank you so much for helping me, putting me in this, difficult time for me. So I will try my level best to come up with the more interesting topics in the more interesting way, and make sure that you are all going to clear my subject with the flying colors. So much again for listening to me and lending your patient ears. I'll borrow it again in your next lesson. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care. Stay home. Stay safe.